Hello and welcome to stage 12. We're nearing the completion of the 2011 Personnel Dakar Argentina Chile Rally. And incredible scenes today, nothing like we've ever seen on a Dakar before. Absolutely drenched floodland for the drivers and the riders. It's meant various changes to the stage, and it's meant massive challenges for the drivers. Firstly, let's look back on what happened yesterday. Following NASA's dust, Carlos Sainz struck a large hole and broke the right front suspension and his 2011 Dakar dream.
Do we have any parts that we can help you with?
Having fixed his car, he was back into service, losing an hour and 10 minutes. Extremely exhausted as well. Disappointed.
Sorry for you. Sorry. We are sorry for you. Bien, lo que pasa es que estoy un poco
I am dehydrated, but yes. Yeah, I'm okay. He'd done a good job repairing the car, and his speed throughout the rest of the stage was good.
Wow.
It was no thanks to Mark Miller.
Both. That's why we have a team. Oh, I wish I could think of something good to say, but I'm telling you, I don't want to throw up on you.
A long and hard, tricky stage. Pascal Thomas saying this is going to be a very long night. Off-road world champion in 2009. His Optimus buggy having all sorts of problems. Yes, I suppose we're more careful because the standings are actually more important at the end. Is decided by the mistakes of others rather than your own performance, so you must not make any mistakes. We're 17th or 18th for amateurs, so it's pretty good. We've got to get back. Finished today in 27th, and after 2 hard days in the sand, he's 18th overall. The stage yesterday had everything. Canyons, mountain passes, dunes, and plenty of traffic for those in the later runners. For Tim Coronel, leader of the buggies, it was a dreadful day.
Can you take me to the finish? Go, behind you.
The answer, sadly, was no from 566. He'd have to wait for someone else. The snowmobile engine in the back of his McRae had given up the ghost and overheated in the 45 degrees heat. Eventually he did get a tow from some locals to the nearest checkpoint, but he would only return to the bivouac at 6 a.m. this morning.
You still hope No, there's still 4 cars coming, and maybe someone is crazy enough to pick me, and then I go. Of course.
It's sad, he'd broken into the top 20 the day before, but despite issues in the sand and rolling 5 times, he'd be out of competition at least. He wasn't the only one having problems as night fell. Jose Garcia Rodriguez. I'm done. Yesterday was the same. I finished by night, 1 in the morning, and with today's stage, I'm finished. Well, in true Dakar spirit, Jose Garcia started today's stage, ready for another long day ahead. The stage from San Juan to Cordoba is one of the most crucial 555 kilometers in varying terrain. We'll test drivers and riders, and with heavy rain on the early part of the stage overnight, conditions are treacherous to be pushing so hard, so close to the finish. Thunderstorms were expected on the day's stage, but they fell early. That, on one hand, was a good thing. On another hand, the group of bikers still remaining had some serious thinking to do. The rivalry between Coma and Deprez still very, very hot indeed. But we've got to be careful. It was raining last night and there's some mud and water in places, and we've got to avoid that, but also attack until the finish line. Well, Deprez did attack, but there was absolutely no way he was going to avoid the mud and water. Some 25 kilometers into the stage, after some really nice flat out sections through the sands, look at this. The first man into the mud flaps had to find a route all on his own. The trucks had started before, but they had started much further down the stage, therefore there was no route to follow. The navigation wasn't that hard, but you just had to pick your way through and make sure you didn't make any big mistakes. Ice was riding on this mud. Despite that, Deprez led for most of the stage. He was nearly 3 minutes up at one point on his main rival Marc Coma, who followed every single track of Cyril Deprez. Both on identical bikes, both on their last engines significantly. The idea was to push really, really hard to see if Deprez could make Marc Coma either blow his engine or make a mistake. It didn't happen, and in fact by the end of the stage Coma had made up time and took stage victory. There was plenty to do when they were at refuelling though, to make sure their bikes wouldn't overheat. For some of the more amateur competitors, it was a really, really tough day. All the riders resembling yetis by the end of the stage, absolutely covered in mud. Obviously, pictures of Helder Rodriguez before he found the muddy section, his Yamaha looking pristine. He was riding well once more. Couldn't match the pace of the front two. They were going to hell for leather, but Rodriguez was comfortably in third spot over the stage, and that would consolidate his third overall in the standings. He's desperately trying to improve on fourth from last year, but Lopez is the man who holds that third at the moment. Fourth on this stage though, he was being relatively conservative. He wants the podium when he comes to Buenos Aires. But that is just how hard it was to get any sort of traction down in these absolutely sodden conditions. Later on in the stage, they would have a mountain pass to get through as well, and that would provide tricky navigation, especially when if you followed the truck tracks. A man really on a mission today was American Cody Quinn. Said of yesterday's stage that it was like the Baja that he'd won 3 times already, and therefore he felt very confident, and he looked very confident on the Honda today, passing Alain Duclos on this part of the stage very, very early on indeed. Cody would finish the stage 5th, 15 minutes down from Coma, and significantly keep himself inside the top 10, which was his ambition at the start of the rally. Just behind him was Ruben Farrier. Farrier had picked up a 2-hour penalty 2 days previous for completely missing a waypoint. When asked about it, he said it doesn't really matter that he didn't get the waypoint. His position doesn't matter as long as he's with Cyril Desprez and backing his teammate. That's what matters. The only remaining competitive BMW, Frans Verhoeven, rounded out the top 7 positions. It was a tough day for the bikers. And here are the stage results. Coma ahead of Desprez in the end by just 37 seconds, and it's looking good from the Spaniard Rodriguez, Lopez and Cody Quinn in the top 5. As you can see, Lopez has third, Rodriguez in 4th, and Juan Pedrero and his first Dakar in 5th spot. The day was very complicated. We knew it was going to be difficult, long, and complicated with lots of mud. It rained a lot during the evening, and the first part was very nasty. We entered often the tracks where the trucks passed, and it was like if there was a war. It was so difficult. The last part was even faster, with more riding, and I very content. I had to attack. It's in my nature. Since the first kilometre I pushed really hard. I slowed down at the end, but it's like that. At least I don't have any regrets.
Sur la fin, mais bon, c'est comme ça au moins, c'est bien de ne pas avoir de regrets.
The stage was extremely complicated with a lot of sand at first and then mud for lots of it, and also very technical. I had to keep my position to find the podium, and Cyril for the first place. It's too difficult to risk. We must be calm until the end.
The Dakar
is a giant school of adventure. It's a way to put ahead some ideas, maybe okay from the Middle Ages, but it's very important to me. Notions of boldness, bravery, pushing ahead and going further. For us Europeans, frustrated by the constraints of space. In 1977, Frenchman Thierry Sabine got lost in the Libyan desert on a motorcycle and imagined the Dakar. Having been killed in a helicopter accident on the rally in 1986, his memory and spirit still lives on today in every Dakar adventurer.
Le trait d'union entre les
The link
équipes
between
de
Terry
Sabine
Sabine and his
et
team
nos équipes d'aujourd'hui,
and our teams today
c'est ce goût
is the taste for
de
discovery.
découverte. Vous reprenez les
You listen to the interviews from riders 25 years ago and compare them to the men of today, and they speak the same way about the stages they lived. With the success of the Dakar, what has made the French Wrangler so influential?
Il aimait en fait faire partager sa
He liked to
passion
share
de
his
la
passion of
découverte
discovery, and he was a superior innovator of his time. And what makes a driver like Nathaniel Artilia dream about Dakar?
It was my dream, to Dakar, because my father is always follow Dakar one long time, and I said, okay, if you like, maybe one day. It was just a job.
And why is it so special? I think it's the hardest race in the world in the desert. Of course it's improved because there is a revolution in technology, but I think it's one of the rare adventures that you can still have today. And what would Sabine think of today's competitors?
He would be a very happy person, if he can see what's still going on here. It's incredible. The race has developed into such a prestige, for guys to try and win. It's the most difficult race in the world to win.
The most successful competitor in Dakar history still recognises the man who created the adventure. It's something that's still happening today. It survived more than 30 years and he created this event. Today it's still relevant to the modern and it is very innovative.